Hello.
We got any folks in here from California?
All right, let's roll. Who
Nice.
who was late today? Raise your hand if you were late. Okay, Trevin, stand up for me.
One minute, technically.
Okay.
Ladies late?
So I'm really curious, Trevin. Can I coach you for a second?
Of course.
Okay, Trevin, you're a minute late. Where else in your life are you late?
I am late in my calendar.
Okay,
Uh,
where do you show up whenever the fuck you feel like it? Because you play by your own rules. Where? Where else in life do you show up when it's convenient for you?
I would say in my workouts when I avoid cardio.
Okay, so what does that look like there? How do you show up when you feel like it, when it's convenient? How does that look? How does it show up?
That'll show up in let's say I'll do the cardio when I feel like doing it, when I'm at peak state or peak performance and I've gotten a good night's rest and I'm ready to jump on the Stairmaster and actually do it rather than just doing it day to day like committed myself to do.
Yeah. So like you said you'd be on time today and you were late. And every time you're late and you say you're going to do something, you don't fucking do it, you lose integrity with yourself. And when you lose integrity with yourself, what happens?
I fall back into the 1.0 version of myself
Because what's the story that you're telling yourself?
that I'm changing my identity and turning into the 2.0 version of Trayvon Stanley.
But you're fucking lying to yourself because you're not. You're in old patterns. You're not even in integrity with yourself. This is the version you're becoming, but this is the pattern that you're in. So I acknowledge you for just allowing this space to be vulnerable. Number one. Number two, if I said, here's a winning lottery ticket, but you got to be on time, would you be late? Like you only can get it if you're on time. Would you be late to get that lottery ticket? Yes or no?
No, I would
Yeah,
not.
exactly. So it's disrespectful to enter my fucking room late. Not for me. I don't give a shit. It's because you're disrespecting yourself. What's happening in your internal world is showing up here. Thank God it's being exposed. I can't imagine where else in your life you're truly fucking late. Thank God this is showing up, right? The message you send to me and to anyone else that you show up a minute late is fuck you. You're not important. I'm important. So I'm going to show up late. So fuck you. I'm going to show up whenever I want. Fuck you. So that's why in your workouts, you show up when you feel like it because you don't respect yourself. It comes to it in it, the problem is internal and it's coming out external. So thank you for allowing me to love on you with a little bit of rigor. And what are you learning from this in this moment?
I'm learning that the person that I want to be isn't necessarily aligned with the actions, the story, or the beliefs that I've been telling myself for
Say that again.
years.
Say that again. The
I'm
person
learning
you're learning that what?
that the actions and beliefs and story that I tell myself isn't in alignment with who I want to become.
Yeah. Can anyone else relate to that right now in this fucking moment? You know there's this version of you over here. Yet you're sitting over here on the sideline watching that version. Actually, that version is watching you. And you're in your own contrast of this pit and this peak, and this problem and this new possibility. And then you show up on a fucking call, like frustrated, right? And it shows up and you leak power because you are not aligned as a man. And people feel that shit. It's all driven from a fucking story. Fucking stories wrapped up in stories, wrapped up in stories. Lies, 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 lies. And then we pretend that we're not lying. So here we are. What's showing up in the room? Talk to me. Talk to me. What's everyone experiencing? Talk to me. What's on your minds? What's on your hearts? Welcome to challenge day number 4. All right. What's coming up? Share. Someone share.
It's a
Pat.
it's a me it's a mirror. So that situation is a mirror to me and probably a mirror to all of us in different ways.
Mhm.
Um, and it's also like I'm speaking just for myself. I'm like, thank God, Patrick. This is what we need. It's like because I know this is what I need, and I think we all probably know at different levels this level of seeing us in a way that we aren't seeing ourselves
Mhm.
is and challenging us to rise our standard for ourselves is critical.
100%. What else are we seeing here?
I'll share. Watching Trevon, sorry, um, be coached. A lot of respect for him in that, and I get to see how I need to be in that same moment because it could easily been me momentarily
Yeah.
the shit that I did.
So here's what I know to be true. I'm going to share this and we're going to move on. And this is what is important for all of you to know. The only way I was ever to accelerate and continue to accelerate my life is taking big, bold risks that are fucking scary and having leverage points around ensuring those risks uh, actually happen. Leverage points, right? A leverage point ensures that you don't fall back into old patterns. The risk is like the big thing that's scary, that if you do it, it's ball tickling or breast tickling. Is there a woman in here? It's scary as fuck. We make the decision, we do the thing, but then we stabilize that next level of growth through a leverage point. This is what's required for growth and to sustain that next level, next version. Okay, what's a leverage point? This is a leverage point. All of you are in, this is leverage. This energy, the WhatsApp group is a leverage point. If that didn't exist, the commitment would decrease. If this didn't exist every day for 4 days, the commitment would decrease. It's about rising to if you want this target, and you have to rise with the leverage point of that commitment. If you do not have leverage points, you will not make it. You will fall. That's how it works. That's why when they say when you pay attention. You guys heard that? It's true. When you pay, you don't want to lose the money. So what do? You do what the coach says to do. You just do. It is the scariest thing ever, right? And then the mind goes back to, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. That's a fucking lie. You can create the money. I wonder where that victim's showing up and else in your life. You get to create the money, right? Every leader I know creates something from nothing. Every successful person I know creates something from nothing, right? Instead of going to victim, they create the money. They find a way to create the leverage point to sustain the way. That's my 2 cents on that. Leverage points. How could you create more leverage points right now, right, in this challenge and beyond? It's a game of leverage. Everything's a game of leverage, right? So, let's move on from here. We're going to go into something that I'm deciding to jump into. That this today is about closing without objections. So the name of originally what this was is how do you close without objections? And so as I came in here and I'm like, what is it that I can provide all of you that would be invaluable? Where if you took this thing and you did it, like you'd make a shit ton of money. Like simple. So like I was gonna give you some objective handling like framework, converting someone's mindset to like before they show up. Like and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna give you and go through um, how to get someone from a maybe to a yes and close all of them using the same framework that allowed me to close over 15 million in high ticket. So basically going to break down my whole sales framework so you can use it today. Okay. And it's fucking simple as shit. See what happens, just a quick story, is I started to really understand, like I didn't understand I stopped using script, stopped using sales training in 2022, made me worse. And I started like using human behavior, not Jeremy Miner's human behavior, but real fucking leadership skills and psychology and understanding. I was doing things I didn't know what I was doing or why, but it would actually take someone down a destination of like death and rebirth from like from the top to the bottom. I call it the pit. I didn't know I was taken in the pit, but the more work I did on me, the more I realized I was taking someone to like a death and a rebirth. Right? Because I kept doing more work on me and I kept going through deaths and rebirths of identity. I'm like, this is what I'm doing with prospects now. So I'm going to teach you the whole process, but I'm going to simplify it for you. I have a whole 8-hour training course curriculum on this. I'm not going to give you everything because it would confuse you. I'm going to give you like the backbone so you can use it now. Okay. And the cool thing is, I'm going to do it on you guys. I'm going to do it on you guys. How about that? You guys ready for that? The best way to learn is to actually do it. So let me break it down with you. Okay. So to get your fucking notepads, we're going to go pretty deep on this. So this is, if you use this framework, it's going to allow you to get to the depths of the soul of a prospect. So they have massive trust and vulnerability with you. The depths of the soul. This is identity transformational leadership selling. There are no tactics in here. It's frames. Okay. So we're going to start with the safety frame, number one. Okay. Number one is the safety frame. We've got to make them feel safe immediately. If they don't feel safe, they will not open up. We can't get to the pit. We can't open up their soul if they're not feeling safe. Nervous system safety. Okay. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to give you the frames. We're not going to role play this or object. We're not going to like embody this. I do this in my trainings each week, the 3-hour war room trainings, in a very different level. But right now, I just want to give it to you, right? And then do it with you. Okay. So right now, it's resonance and safety. So there's 3 frames inside of here. One is the win frame. You want to get exactly what would be the win for them by the end of this call. What's most important to them to accomplish and achieve? You want to get everything out. What's most important? What's most important? Right? What's the question I asked? I think all of you was what do you want to get out of this challenge? What's most important to you? Right? So number 2 is the time frame, setting the time frame. The time frame is making sure that you hit their analyzer mind, right? Because they're thinking, I got to run in 20 minutes. I got to run in 60 minutes. So you want to set the time frame. Just want to make sure you got 60 minutes undistracted. Cool. Right. And if they're in a car, reschedule. Right. I need you present. I need your energetic presence. Never get on a call without them, without their energetic presence. And tell them for their reasons, not yours. Right. And then the third thing is the safety frame. We talked about this, I think, yesterday. The safety frame is simple, is making sure that you got permission to coach them, to consult them as the investment advisor. Like, you got to go into their portfolio and really go deep to the depths of their portfolio and really understand what the numbers are at, right? To like figure out how you could help them to like get where they want to go. And it may require actually not only going in the portfolio, but like who they are as a man or a person, like behind the portfolfolio.
Was
Like really what's in the way that's causing them to like not do anything.
what was I thought
Yeah.
number one was safety frame. I was confused
Oh,
there. Do we?
you're right. You're right. This is the permission frame. Excuse me. Thank you. Permission frame. You're getting permission to coach them when necessary. So depending on the offer, relationship offer, transformational offer, um, uh, B2B, B2C offer, is coaching them. Hey, I might need to coach you so we can get where we need to go today. Right? You can go later, deeper. It's like, would you allow me to coach you in case we get off track today? And we need to go a certain direction so I can really deeply go into what's holding you back so we can solve it as fast as possible. But I need to go deep with you to the point it might even get uncomfortable. Right? What I do, because I'm comfortable, this is more advanced. There's a part of you that might have fear. I want to name the part right away. This is more advanced. But as you get to do this work, we get much more advanced at this. Like, I want to talk to the fear part, because the only reason they won't move forward is because of fear. So I would say, hey, I want to welcome the fear part of you on this call today. The part of you that is like terrified, not sure if you can trust me, call the elephant out of the room, not sure if you can trust what we do. And I want you to know that that part is welcome. That part of you that doesn't trust, that has fear, I welcome them here. They're welcome. Can we bring them on to this conversation? Yes. So I'm literally doing transformational work, parts work on the call. The things that will hold them back from never moving forward at the end, we want to bring them out immediately. Now that's more advanced. And when you get into the internal work, and I do parts work in my own program, you understand these parts that are driving you. You'll be automatically do this with your prospects. This is how it works. Okay. I'm just giving you like the more advanced version of like the safety frame. I can speak it because I lived it, right? And I know these parts, right? So I can say, hey, this part of you that feels fear, can I talk to that part right now? And I actually can do parts work to actually overcome their own fear. It's a transformation, right? Not necessary, but it's just like a tool. It's a weapon. It's powerful. So let's go to the next piece, which is vision. So I want to go right to the vision. So stage one is the safety frame, or is safety, right? And then number two is vision. Vision is simple. Like, why are you here? Why'd you show up? That's it. Why are you here? Why'd you show up? That's it. Why did you here? Why you show up? What do you want? Why are you here? Why'd you show up? What do you want? Why are you here? Why'd you show up? What do you want? Why do you want that? Why are you here? Why'd you show up? What do you want? What do you want? Why do you want that? That's it. Why do you want that? And when you get that, what happens? So it goes into the future. This is future pacing. This is staying in the line of the peak of the conversation. And when you have that, what happens in your life? What does that feel like? You're just going along this line, right? So that's getting into their North Star. Okay. Pretty simple. And I want to go a little bit deeper and say, what does the 2.0 version of you look like? So I'm labeling 2.0. The 2.0 portfolio, the 2.0 business, the 2.0 whatever it is. The 2.0 relationship between you and the relationship offer. I was talking to a guy earlier today that he sells a men's divorce offer. Okay. So what does the 2.0 relationship look like with your wife? You want to, yes, Andrew, fuck, there he is. Yes, fuck yeah, there he is. You want to label, you want to begin to label identities. This is a lethal identity shifting framework. When you label the identity, now they're in your frame and it becomes like psychological and begins to become somatic. Okay, you see how that works, right? And then they start to own the identity without you having them to get them to own it. So we're labeling that on them, and they're just like, yeah, it's the 2.0. Like for you guys, what's the 2.0? I want you to journal right now for the next 60 seconds, 2 sentences, 3 sentences, 4 sentences. Who is the 2.0 man? Right? How does he operate? How does he think? How does he talk? How does he walk? The 2.0 man. How does he think? How does he walk? How does he operate? What's different? What's different as the man? Describe the man. Don't describe the life, describe the man. Just take a moment. Describe the man. He
Said
lives passion every day.
think, walk, and talk, you said?
Yeah. Describe the 2.0 man. How does the man show up in the world? How does he wake up every morning? What are the qualities that make up who that man is? Really simple and really clear. Put that in the journal. That's your beacon. That's who you're becoming. What's the qualities in that man? How does he show up every day? 1 sentence, 2 sentences, 3 sentences. And then what's the 2.0 life? So what is life like at 2.0? It could be I have this in my bank account. It could be a tangible. It could be I have this house. Doesn't matter what it is. Whatever's true for you is true for you. What's one thing inside your 2.0 life? Just anchor one thing. A quick anchor. One thing. Again, we're doing this because it's important to be in alignment. If I'm teaching this to you and you're not actually doing it, this is gonna become a tactic versus you actually doing it and realizing, oh, that makes sense from internal. It won't feel in alignment. Okay, that's why we're doing this. Cool. So, Jeff, read your 2.0 man. I'm gonna call on you guys so that make sure you're writing shit down. Make sure you're writing shit down. Who's your 2.0 man?
Yeah, 2.0 version of myself is confident. He's optimistic, abundant. He's consistent, just like lives with integrity.
Mhm.
Challengers, like both challenging others and challenging himself. It's making 5 figures a month at minimum.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So we're gonna go into the next stage. This is the doorway of the pit. This is the pit. Let's call it the pit. I also have a subname called the barriers. The fucking barriers. The walls and barriers in the way of the vision. Think about it. We got them all safe, right? We got the North Star, and now we got to get what the fuck's in the way. Why aren't we there right now? Here's the vision. Here's why we're not at the vision. Here's the places we're stuck. So the questions here are simple. You open up with, this is what you want. Where are you now in comparison to that? I call it the comparison frame. You're here. Where are you now versus that? We need to open up the gap right away. This is in the first 7 minutes. We got a gap already. You want to make 40, 50K a month? Okay. Where are you now versus that? 5? How do you feel about that number? How long's that number going on for? You haven't been getting sex relationship off for 3 months. We talked about this, Andrew, earlier. Okay. Right? For how many months? How do you feel about that? Okay. What are you doing to cause that? When we get into these different frames inside there, we want to extract facts and link them to feelings. So write this down. Facts, feelings. These are the facts about the situation that are not working. This is the feelings they have around that. So I think in terms of like separating facts, feelings, and focus. Focus is the stories and behaviors that are causing those facts. Facts, feelings, focus. Facts, feelings, focus. That's it. So all we're doing inside the discovery is rotating facts, feelings, and focus. What are the facts about your marriage? What's not working? Like, why aren't you making 100,000 a month? They'll tell you all their pain, why they're not making all the doubts and patterns. What you're looking for is patterns, right? The patterns in doubt, the inconsistencies, consistencies, and what they're avoiding. That's all I'm spotting for. I don't care what they say, I just care about the patterns they reveal. Okay, and it always is revealed in those words. I really don't care. I really don't care what they say. So barriers. At the end of the day, just consider that this is about why aren't they there? Barriers. If literally all you guys leave today, just like in that framework in your mind, vision, like barriers, what's stopping them from the vision? You just ask them that question, they'll reveal it all. It's that simple. Okay. And then from there, there are okay, so let me share this other note. Okay. This is a little more advanced, and I teach this in more of my advanced training. But there's 3 levels of pain that you must get inside of the pit. The pain level number 1 is the surface level pain. This is what they're showing up that's known and spoken. It's called the known spoken pain. Okay, this is, if it's a weight loss, yeah, I don't go to the gym. I'm inconsistent. I go to the gym and I don't go to the gym. I want to, but like I can't find the time. That's surface level, right? There's no pain there, right? So you want to get their surface. You want the dog to run. They're going to tell you all the surface level shit that they think is the problem. It's not the real problem, but it's what they think is the problem. So salespeople, business owners I work with, like what is the source level pain is why they come. Why do you guys come to this training? Because you want to make more
Money.
right. Exactly. So that's why you join this challenge. So you want to make more money, and you will, right? But you want to make more money consistently is really what you want. You want to hit a certain level like consistently. Not more money, it's consistently hit that and not be in the up and down roller coasters. That's surface level problem. Okay, see how we just did that? Okay, secret level pain is that what you know that's unspoken. So all the things that you don't want to tell me that are actually going on inside you. So because you go up and down in your commissions, 1 month it's 10, 20, 1 month it's 5. You start to compare yourself to other closers. And when you do that, you feel defeated. Is that true? Raise your hand if that's true. It's like this guy's over here, he's fucking crushing it, but I'm over here. That's secret level pain. So for your offer, knowing the secret level pain is crucial because you have to be able to communicate that. You see how easily I communicated that to you? Why? Because I know all your pain. You got to know your fucking prospect's pain. You know how fucking powerful that is? If you can spit out their pain on a secret level, right? I can do it confidently, transparently. You can do it in ways where it's like, hey, Joe worked with us in the past. He had this pain, this doubt when he came on. Is this you? You can do those frames, right? But you get to a point where like, you so much in your own pain that you can just go to someone else's pain immediately and ask them the pain questions. Okay. So the next level is source level pain. Oof. This is where transformation happens. This is where vulnerable trust, the gateway of vulnerable trust occurs. To access this gate, though, it's going to require you not to get all weird, right? Because this is the source of the problem. This is where you are the doctor and you're revealing the real problem that's causing the symptoms. Right? The symptoms for you guys is what? You want to make more money. You think a 5-day challenge is actually going to solve your problems. It's not. But I couldn't tell you that. You need to come to your own conclusion of that. by me exposing your secret pain, right? And then you telling me more secret pain. And then I tell you what the real problem is as the doctor. So, what do you think is the real problem, Daniel? I'm calling you. What do you think is the real problem is why you go from, 20 to 5? What's really the source of the problem, in your opinion? And you and I, you're in my program now, we're working together, but we had great conversation today. Just want to hear, like, what's the source?
Um, I probably have to dig a little deeper on the source, but it seems like when I'm winning, nothing can go wrong, and I've got all the confidence in the world. And then when you start losing, it's hard to get back up again. So, what is the source behind that? Um, Maybe deep down, you don't feel like you deserve consistent high commission checks. Um, Maybe, yeah,
Perfect,
that
perfect,
might be
perfect,
it.
perfect. So there's two things that must occur in a sales call. You must find two different bottlenecks. The internal bottleneck that's causing them to not get what they want. It's a story, an identity, or an I am statement they believe about themselves. It's just what it is, right? That they are trapped in, right? And then there's the external bottleneck, which is the thing, the tangible thing that's a skill or some skill that your program solves, that if they just had this one or two or three skills, they would be on the other side of their future. So all of your offers solves it with a skill. So basically, for people that sell is exactly what you said, Daniel, right? The problem is that and the way I describe it is you have a 5K mindset, 10K mindset, right? You're driving a Honda Civic. That's a 10K operating system. Yet you want this Ferrari, a $50,000 a month Ferrari. It's a different operating system. So the problem is, the real root of the problem is that you're in the fucking car that's a Honda Civic. And we need to get you in a car that's a Ferrari. We got to your whole entire operating system must be deleted and removed and rebuilt. It's the only way. So what I'm doing with you guys right now is exactly what I would do with every single prospect. And for you guys in this framework is you must reveal two different bottlenecks, the internal bottleneck, right? And then the external bottleneck. The external bottleneck is that the problem is you've been going solo, right? You don't have a support structure for you to rise and stay at the top because you've been doing it in your own container of solo container versus being a container of men that are there that will hold you high and accountable. And because of that, you'll make no less than 20K a month. Right. So this is internal, external. Now you're not diagnosing it. How to say you're not. So you're revealing the diagnosis. This is what I call revealing the diagnosis. I'm the doctor, and I went through all the pit and all the things going up. I'm like, hey, listen, can I tell you what I see the real problem is here that I really need to share with you based on my experience working with 400 closers just over the last 2 years. The same, I've worked with other people that want Airbnbs, they want a side income, that now are making $50,000 a month profit from Airbnb. Can I tell you like where they were, where I see you are right now, like the source of actually what's going on? Boom. You're the doctor. You're prescribing, you're diagnosing the problem, and you're telling them, and they start to agree, and you're like, fuck, you're right. Powerful. And then there's a whole thing, anchoring process where I somatically anchor that in them, where I get them to Socratically agree to that. And it's now their new identity inside their system. Okay. So from there, well, let me pause for a second right now. What's coming up for y'all? Let's talk about this. Because what I'm doing is I'm descending them into the pit, the dark pit. Wanted to feel everything and see that the source of the problem is this. It's not this symptom. Okay.
What I'm
Yeah.
what's going through my head is I could do this super well in men's coaching. Now I'm selling for a real estate development coaching offer,
Yeah.
and it's more like in the head conversation, logically straight, and I'm having trouble being able to extract this with people, especially if they're, pretty successful people. They know maybe part of it, they just need to fill in a couple gaps, and they're unwilling to go there.
Yeah, for sure. But it's simple. I'm giving you the framework. Well, I'm just going a little bit deeper with you.
Yeah.
All we're doing is getting to the real problem of like you want your investment portfolio to be here, right? You're here. This is the barriers in the way, right? This is how you're feeling about it. Like you're feeling fucking like upset that like you're losing out on this much money, right? You've been feeling that for that way. And basically from there, it's just simply you're still telling them the problem from the patterns you see without making it like a weird thing. There's still the reason they don't have it is because they have doubt. Doubt is one of the patterns. And Tim, you and I have worked on, like we talked about this years ago, is like doubt is stopping them from moving forward. They're doubting every fucking offer out, investment offer. Like there's real estate, they can invest here. They're in indecision. There's a pattern of indecision.
Right.
For an investor, I sold 150 plus investors. So it's just really practicing having that real conversation. Can I tell you what I see is I see that you're in it, you're in a pattern that's destroying you of indecision. I care about you and I need you to know this because you've looked at 6 different companies and this is what's being revealed to me. And you remind me of a client that was just like that 2 months ago. And now his portfolio is at 20% a month. Is that what you want? Yes. You sure? Okay. Cool. Can I tell you another thing I see that's stopping you from getting what you want that you need to be aware of? You're just the guide. Yeah. Well, you lack a system. So part of the skill is a system or a skill. Right? You lack a system that produces cash flow on autopilot every single month without you having to be there, worried if this is actually going to be like legit or not. He's like, yeah, I know. You're just calling out the internal and external. Simple. Yeah. What other questions you guys have? It's pretty simple. It's just new. It's different, right? It's like, oh, that's different. That's new. Yeah. But from a human psychological perspective, it makes complete sense. We're just taking them into that descent in a simple way. The other piece, the next piece of this is the cost, right? As we descend them into the pit, what I realize is sometimes for an A type in their head, I might skip elements, but I go right to the cost. The mental cost, the emotional cost, and the financial cost. Sometimes, if I want to just go right to it because I know it's going to puncture his wound, I'll go right to the cost. This is the situation. This is the cost. This is the barrier in the way. This is the cost by not solving this barrier. Right? Mental cost, emotional cost, and financial cost. That's simple. So money's always a big one. So I always link everything to money. I always link things to money. So what I want you all to do to experience this in action, this is really important, is I want you to write down right now on a separate piece of paper because we're going to be ripping this out. Okay, and we're going to be ripping this out. Separate piece of paper. And I want you to first get your calculators out. And I would do this with the prospect, by the way. Do this with the prospect. You get their calculator out, get their phone out. Okay, we're going to calculate some numbers. Okay, calculate some numbers. Now, what I want you to do is have this ready to go. And I want you to calculate Put in the chat. How many sales do you lose a week? How many calls do you have a week, and how many of those are no sales? And if you're a setter, well, then you can figure that out in your own way. Okay, how many calls do you have a week? Let's say you have 10. How many don't close? The magic number is 4. Right? So put that in the chat. And I know you guys know where I'm going with this. But if you don't go through this, how are you going to do this with your prospects? Put that in the chat. Now, multiply that by your commissions. How much commissions do you make? Multiply that. Multiply that. We want to get to this is the current present moment. There's the present moment cost. Okay, and then we're gonna expand the cost. I'm gonna show you how to do this. Present moment cost. How much every single week is that? What's the weekly number? Let's put that in the chat. What's the weekly number of the amount of money each week it's costing you to actually not rebuild a new 2.0 operating system that operates at a $50,000 level as a Ferrari? So the 1.0 version of you, this is what it's costing you each week to remain in that operating system. Okay, now I want you to do the month. Type in the month. Y'all know where we're going. Y'all know where we're going. Put the month. Put the month. 10K. Now, great. Now we're going to go 12 months in the future. And I would say this with the prospect. We're going to go 12 months in the future. So I want you to imagine, and be with me, y'all. Imagine it is now December 2026. All right, today's date is December 2026, 11th. How much money have you lost in the last 12 months because of the inability to actually rewire a new operating system? Instead, you went up and down in commissions and stayed back at fucking square one. How much have you lost? How much is robbed out of your bank account? What's the year number? I want you to write that number down on the piece of paper. Actually, not yet. No, not yet. No, not yet. Just put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. What's the year number? 1.5 million. Ryan's got. Okay, 112. Now we're going to go 5 years in the future. So today's date is December 11th, 2030. We're fucking 5 years in the future. Okay. How much money right now is not in your bank account because you lack the ability to actually sustain the level of the Ferrari? Like we had the Ferrari for one day and you had to sell it. It's gone. Like you had it for a fucking day. So use the analogy, by the way. Use the analogy. Okay. Put the number in the chat and put it on the piece of paper right now. And write on that piece of paper. Because somatically, it's important to engage in all kinesthetics with your prospects. I love to do this. Done it. This is what I've always done. The calculator, right? I have them write some stuff down and they're in compliance, right? It's leadership. So write it on a piece of paper and I want you to write it and show it on screen. I would ask someone to do this. Show me that number. Let me see it, James. What does it say? Let me see it. Yeah. 80,000. Okay. Fucking 7.5 million. Ryan, holy shit. Yeah. Wow. Ryan, how do you feel about that number?
I feel great about it if it's in my bank account.
It's not, because we're in 2030. Right now, it's lost. It's robbed out of your bank account. It's not there. It's lost. It's gone. How do you feel about that?
Disappointed in myself.
Yeah. Now I can go a whole line of like really anchoring that in. I would do this with the prospect. If you did nothing today, literally nothing, but just this process, I'm telling you, they will trust you because you're taking them in the future, 5 years in the future, and you're with them and you're like, show me, let me see, man, that's fucking rough. Yeah, how do you feel about that? You stay in the pocket of that. Okay, it's powerful because you really care. You don't want them to lose that. It's not a tactic, it's you really care. They need to see the cost so they move. And so like it's required for you to not tell them the cost, but get them to see the cost. You are the guide to create that, right? Do not tell them the cost. Empower them to change it by doing something physically for them to experience and feel it. People buy because of two reasons, because there's no more questions and they feel like it. This gets them to feel it, the weight. Okay? So that's the cost of staying there, right? And the last one is identity ownership. It's the death of, I call it the death of 1.0, right? The death of 1.0. This is where I like to label a metaphor, right? Really more, I'll say an identity. So the roller coaster closer, right? You've become the roller coaster closer, right? As a salesperson, right? So I want to label an identity on them, right? The slow return investor, right? The hope and pray operator, the hope and pray lead generator. This is who you've become. You want all these leads, but you don't have them, right? You've done nothing about it for the last 5 years. So you've become 1.0, the hope and pray lead generator. You hope and pray leads are going to show up. See how that worked for a business owner? They're like, fuck, I have. When you label the deep, deep rooted identity, right, inside of this prison they've built and the source of the problem, they're like, fuck, this is the source of the problem. All right. Then they own the identity, right? Simply by asking them a simple question, which is who created this all? So write this down, own the identity. Who created this all? Who created this this emotion, the roller coaster, emotional roller coaster closer, where your emotions actually dictate your future and your money game each week. 1 week you're making a lot, 1 week you're not, based on your emotions. So who created it? You guys did, right? Yeah, exactly. So from there, it's now getting them done with this current reality. How much longer do you want to allow yourself to stay where you are? Are you done with this? Allowing this to control, like, and dictate your future. So for an investor, it's like it's any offer, it's simple. They just got to be done with this current reality. They have to be done with this current thing that they're stuck in. So if there's anything you get from here, like what we're doing is we're getting into like this wall and barriers in their way. Yes, there's this more advanced identity stuff, but are they done with these walls and barriers fucking them up? You guys track that? You get that? Are they done? That's it. Cool. Okay. Then we go into the next phase. All right, the next phase, which is the gap. We put them into the gap. This is where they are. This is where they want to go. This is where they are. This is where they want to go. This is where they are. This is where they want to go. Right? And then we just ask them, how are you going to resolve this for yourself? What's your plan? You're stuck. What's your plan? How are you going to resolve this? Right? And they're just stuck in the middle. Right? You want this future, right? But you're stuck in these walls and barriers. What are you going to do about it? I love asking that question. Right? Because they have no idea. And then I go into the I'm concerned for you. So how are you guys going to resolve this for yourself? I made an offer and 3 people came in. I have 2 spots left. I'm curious. I'm really genuinely curious. How much longer are you going to tolerate being in a 1.0 identity, the operating system? That's fucking crushing you from 1 to 3 millions of dollars out of your bank account. It's robbing you. How much longer are you going to tolerate that? Raise your hand if you're fucking done with that being robbed out of your fucking account. Play with me. Play with me. Okay. So here we are on these two realities. What's your plan? What's your plan? No plan, no money. Hope and pray, right? And we go into the pre-pitch. So this is where you're at. This is where you want to go. Do you want help with that? Do you want to accelerate this motherfucker so you no longer operate that way inside of that old operating system? Can I help you take you out of the Honda Civic metaphor and can we put you in the Ferrari now? Yes, raise your hand. Ferrari? Do you want help staying in the Ferrari? Yes? Okay. So I still have 2 spots left. All right. So I'm going to drop the link for the deposit. If you are not fucking around and you're ready for that next level, I would drop it here. All right. And then we're going to do a Q&A. So I'm going to drop it here. It's refundable. And the 2 spots are left to work with me in the Sales Savage Accelerator. And fully refundable. If we can't figure out the financing, I got you back. But it's a conversation to hold your spot. But it's a conversation to ensure that we hit that next level. If you say you want $50K a month, we will fucking make it happen. And you're at 30. And we'll plan that out in our one-on-one session. So I'm going to pause right here. Okay. I just took you through the entire process, the transformational process of death and rebirth. What questions do you guys have? We have 8 minutes.
If you ask at the start for their win by the end of the call, and their win is something like to just get more information, and it's not a win that would align with a decision, what
Yeah.
do you do about that? Do you reframe that?
No reframes. To get to the truth. Okay, what information do you want? I'll give it to you right now. Give it to them.
How much is your program?
Just tell them.
What does it all entail?
Meet them where they're at. Remember, no more questions. It's a yes. Meet their nervous system where they're at. Because then they feel safe, and then I can descend them. Hey, I'm happy to tell you. Boom, 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 boom. Now can I ask you some questions? This is what I did with the investors. I actually created a whole sequence where this is beautiful, and I encourage you guys to do this. In the offer that I was on, I was selling 25 to 50K. I created a triage call to actually alleviate this, Tim. Because the guys are coming on, who the fuck are you? Like, I saw your ad, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, shit, like, I can't do an hour discovery. They have a bazillion questions. So I had to like create the list of all the questions they have, and I still have the document, and I had to literally be prepared for all of them. So I memorized all the questions and embodied that. So I actually ended up just telling them what they already wanted to hear so that I can control that 15 minutes. But it was a Q&A call. That 15 minutes was Q&A. Because I needed them to feel so super safe so I can just talk about the deeper stuff that matters inside the strategy call. But I created the space for the Q&A. So if there's an opportunity in your offer, do 15 minutes and then do another longer call. I would never do anything less than that if I was on any new offer right now. It's so vitally important because you control the whole process. You can calm their analyzer mind, give them the information they need, and then move on to the real process, the real transformation. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Tim? Does that help? Yeah, cool. Okay, what other questions you guys have? One more question.
I got a question.
Yeah, James. What's that?
Yeah, I guess my question is related to me and what I'm currently doing. and that's working with like organizations. So at times, I'm selling to like a group of like 3 to 7 leaders, but then they represent an organization of 50 to 100 people. So there's multiple levels of like change and identity and everything that's like wrapped up in all of this. So I guess
Yeah.
how do you best apply the framework to that kind of setting, sales process?
Yeah, so I'm gonna hang on a little longer with you guys because I don't have another call. But let me hear your question again. How do you apply what I just shared to what?
To working with
Yeah.
groups of people like at one time, but also that represent a larger group of people that are going through a change management process together.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna break it down so simple, right? Because I
Mm,
know we've worked together before too.
yeah,
Like, here's the vision, here's what they want, here's the barriers, here's what's stopping them, here's the cost of the consequence of not solving the problem,
yeah.
right? Are you done with this costing you that? Okay, you sure, cool. Like it's just same
It,
process.
yeah. Just simplify it.
Simplify. Yeah,
Yeah,
again, what I went through is like deep, deep transformation and it works, but if you know the depth, you can go narrow.
yeah. Easy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Like if I know I need to do the surgery over here and go to the cost and like spend 20 minutes on that for that guy because I need him to like feel the fucking cost, like we'll go there. So the answer your question, it's knowing that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I need. Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because yeah, cool. Good. All right, what other questions you guys have?
I have one.
Pat, yeah.
So, because you talked about like the cost, we did that exercise when we, did the calculations,
Mhm.
things like that. So that of course works with like, let's say like a sales, like for salespeople. What about when it's like when the return on investment is like a bit of an unknown, or maybe it's like a fitness offer or something like that, or how
Mm.
would how would you kind of, I guess, like
Yeah.
quantify or get the kind of metrics for that too?
Yeah, everything's quantifiable. Everything's quantifiable. So I would hit the for someone in health, the big thing is going to be the emotional cost, regret, guilt, shame. Like imagine if I take you into the future over the next 5 years and you're looking, like, this is what I would do, right? What's it like to look at yourself in the mirror without your shirt on 5 years down the road? How much would you weigh? Would you be heavier? Would you be lighter? 5 years from now, heavier. Why would you be heavier? Binge eating. Got it. So look, like imagine you looking in the mirror right now. For 5 years in the future, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Actually, do you got a mirror right now? Okay, good. Go stand. Like, again, I would do that because I've got the skills, but it's just like 5 years in the future, you're looking in the mirror. What do you see? Are you heavier or lighter? Just guide them. Okay. And when you look in the mirror, what's the dominant feeling that shows up when you look in the mirror? Guilt, disgust. Okay. 5 years of disgust. What's
What
it like
what
to,
what if
what's
they're
it,
like, it's not going to be, that's not going to be me. I'm going to make a change.
well, then you stayed surface level. It's your fault. You
Hmm.
didn't create vulnerable trust with them. Always comes down to that. If you stay surface level, they're going to stay surface level. See, James? Yeah. That's where I say, like, you guys need to do the internal work. Otherwise, you're going to stay surface level. If your operating system is here and we need to go here, then we've got to do the work on yourself. You got to do your own work. If you're afraid to feel, how are you supposed to access feelings inside of a prospect? We got to work on you first. You're the problem. This is why I don't work with a single soul until we get the man right. Because if you're lacking integrity with yourself, you're gonna like, and I'm coaching you, you're gonna show up fucking late, and there's no standard. I'm like, what the fuck? You're late, man. We gotta rewire this shit. Like, pay me this much privately, and we're gonna work together for a month, and then we're gonna do sales. It's what it is. Yeah. What other questions you guys have? No more questions? Okay. Let's go around. What is everyone taking from this session today? Honest takeaway. Because this was a little bit of a pattern up today. We opened up with this, like, what the fuck is going on? Right? And I gave you this framework that you can leverage now. And even if you took one thing in the framework and inject it tomorrow, today, the sale will move forward, right? It will move forward. So let's go around and just share. Trevin, what's the big takeaway for you that's important for you to take away in this session?
The greatest takeaway for me is uh, going deeper with myself first, before trying to go like deeper with my prospects because like I just don't want to be inauthentic
Mm-hmm.
and guiding people to where they want to go. So there's quite a bit of internal work that I still need to do to get to the true, real 2.0 version of myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Mark here? Mark leave? Okay. Just want to check. Clear, very clear. Yeah. Who else has something you want to take away? Actually, everyone gets to go. You guys are still here. Let's go
Well,
with Nestor.
what I'll take away is
Yeah.
like you put them on the driver's seat, and like have them go down a path of like reality. And it's like they're doing it, but reality, you're doing it. And you said this like 2 days ago when you said, I have an agenda, but I'm gonna meet you where you're at. So I really like that. It's like
Yeah.
it's almost like it's like you're their conscious and you're just going
Mhm.
with them, and then they dig and dig and dig, and then eventually we get to like a solution or something. So that was pretty interesting. I took notes on that like crazy.
Yeah, I love what you said we are their conscious. We
Yeah.
are. Yeah, we're matching nervous systems and matching consciousness, which is true transformation. Maybe you don't follow my entire framework and that's fine, but if you can match consciousness and be okay with them where they're at, so they feel you and like your thoughts are here, you're somatically here, the sale will move forward because they'll trust you, right? So when you say what's it costing you, how much money are you losing every month because of this problem, like they're like, fuck, let me tell you the truth, man, like fucking shitload.
Yeah.
But it starts with the who. I go back to what we started 3 days ago. It's the who behind the what. None of this here matters today. You got the 7-step framework. Cool. If the who behind it is all weird. And I used to be the weird guy. I know that guy. Like I have video of me doing Jerry Miner's script, like on my computer. You guys would look at it and laugh. Like, who the hell is that guy? I'm reading a script. Yeah. Awesome. Who else? Let's see. Kevin, go.
All right, yeah. For me, it's just kind of, going through the last person was saying about being the conscious, but also meeting them where they're at and just seeing things kind of that are going to come up and just basically, like yesterday in yesterday's sale, for example, the second lady I closed, she basically was telling me how she was scared, like of messing up. And in the past, I would have probably just kind of, kept going with the script. But I spent like 10 minutes just addressing that fear. And basically, I kind of compared all the things that she's done versus what we do. And I'm
Mhm.
like, well, now do you see how this is different? And she bought no resistance whatsoever.
Mhm. Yeah. And what did it take from you to create that?
I would say number one was the knowledge, but two, it was just kind of being present and being there with her.
Hmm. You created that. You created the presence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. And Kevin's gone through my freedom experience. Kevin, do you want to share anyone about, without telling him what the experience is,
Yeah.
your experience of it?
I can say confidently say that the person that I was, I would say about 3 weeks ago. It's a completely different person that's standing before you today. I don't even recognize myself when I see myself in videos. I was always a person that was on the run from something or was trying to numb myself. So now all those patterns are done. I'm not running anymore. I'm not trying to numb myself. I'm here. I'm living in this moment and I'm just taking it for what it is. And I would say it's definitely coming across in my calls. People in my family tell me, "Hey, you seem very different. There's like a different glow to you." Um, so I don't know if there's much more that I can reveal,
Yeah.
but what I will say is it was one of the toughest emotionally challenging things I've ever done in my entire life. But I am so glad I did it because I met the monster, I hugged it, and I integrated it because we all have kind of like this inner monster inside of us. We all have things that we want to avoid that we're on the run from. And I think one of the hardest things anyone can do is just meet that monster, shake its hand, and just give it a hug, if you will.
Yeah.
And again, doing it takes guts, but it helps you make more money. It helps you be a better person. There's a bit of hard work at first, obviously,
Yeah.
but once you do it, it's worth it. The only thing I regret is that I didn't do it sooner.
Look at that. Cool. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, Kevin's 3 weeks in, and now he's in integration of this new identity. It's called Integration Identity Week. So yeah, let's continue. Let's see, Veronica, how about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I want to share. I have to jump,
Yeah,
but I do want to
yeah,
share.
share, please.
Um, the thing that I think stood out for me the most was obviously don't be late. That's the biggest one. But what I really liked was the 3 levels of pain, specifically the source level of pain, because I don't think it's something that you can apply just to sales. I think you can apply in many aspects of your life, whether it's trading, whether it's an employee, overseeing someone. It's like usually when they're doing some sort of action or they're not taking action somewhere, it's because there's a deeper issue behind it, right? So if they're not doing something that they're supposed to be doing at work, it's like, okay, well, what is the actual reason of it? Like, why are they like not doing it? So I think digging deeper with those people and really being able to identify what that source level of pain is, and be able to get you what it is that you want, whether it's personal relationships, whether it's in sales, whether it's managing, or whatever the issue is.
Yeah, I love that. That's why I teach that in that framework. And where that actually comes from, guys, is so like I've hired a lot of business mentors over the years. I've created new businesses. And one of the things I learned in marketing is that there's 3 levels of pain. So when I'm creating a new business, I need to know my avatar. I need to know there are 3 levels of pain when I'm doing marketing, right? And so like I learned this framework and I built businesses off this framework. So like again, like I said yesterday, it's a marketing lens, but I'm taking the marketing into sales, right? Of the levels of pain of the avatar. That if I was creating a business, you're creating a business, you would need to know the levels of pain for your avatar. So it's just transferring that. So thank you for sharing that, Veronica.
Yeah. I do have to jump, but I'll be back on tomorrow.
Sure. Let's see who else gets to go. Ryan, did you go?
No, not yet.
Ryan,
Not yet.
yeah.
I think you used a good word earlier, pattern interrupt, just of how you structure everything. I've done a lot of sales training. I've been through Cole Gordon's training. I've had different mentors before, and so I understand like a discovery and how the way Cole Gordon does it and the way he breaks it down. But it's still a script, right? It's still a script. Here's your questions. You ask the questions, and I love scripts. I gotta say, like, I love scripts. I've been a lot of sales director and sales training, and so it's like I'm looking for something that's very easily like I can replicate to other sales reps, and this is what you say, and that's it. But obviously, it does work to a point. But having this idea of like doing a triage call before just all the analytical part, getting that all out of the way, and then having a sales call where you're focused more on the individual, the discovery, breaking down exactly what they want, figuring out what's holding them back from being their 2.0 version is a little bit it's hard to wrap my head around, but it's like I see it. I haven't fully grasped it, but it makes sense. Like it makes sense even though I don't
Does.
have sense of
Yeah.
it.
Because you're getting all the surface level stuff out on the first call. Like you
Hmm.
just I say let the dog run. You guys probably heard that. Let the dog run. Let it get it out. La da 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 da. And then you let the analyzer mind run.
Yeah.
Like even right now, my own process for this offer that I have, and I have other things I do too. My other coaching offers I have for my own program, for other thing I do, is I still do the triage and the discovery, right? Because you guys are warmer, I'm just being like candid with you. You guys are warmer. I don't need to do that, right? So the warmer the audience, the more you go right to a strategy call, right? And so I say this because I still do a 15-minute discovery call and I let the dog run of what they think the problem is. Money, money, I need more money, I need more money, objections, this and that. And then I immediately do a pattern interrupt, Brian. I let the dog run for 10 minutes and I'll look and audit their call for 5. And I'll get them to see that the problem is actually not even the call, it's the who behind the call. So I open up a pattern interrupt and then I leave them on a cliffhanger and then I'll put them into a strategy call and do my own pit to peak transformational selling process. Again, this is a completely cold lead, right? I wouldn't do that whole process with any of you guys because I could do that in 20 minutes, right? Meaning I could take you from the pit to a peak in 20 minutes. Okay. The other thing, Ryan, that I would do, so do you run a sales team or what do you do now?
Right now there is no sales team, but I
Okay.
just switched offer. So for the last 2 years, I was running a sales team. I was a sales director for a
Cool.
company.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. This is something that I've always done that speeds the process up in a sales cycle. Again, this is all what I call strategic seduction. So I build this for companies as well and people, and I build out processes that strategically seduce someone from A to B. Kind of like I said, this mindset to this mindset. They need to hear, see, and feel and experience things in order for say yes. It's just kind of how it works. So when I say that is, if you can get the information in advance, it shortens the process.
Hmm.
So like if I have like all of you guys are meeting with me, you're filled out or you will be filling out an audit form, right? It's a 12-minute form that gets me to know you where you're at internally. If I've got all that information, it saves me 45 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, so that I can just create the map of your current reality before you show up to the call. I call it the mirror map. I can show you the map of your 1.0 and 2.0 before you even show up to the fucking call. And if I can do that, right, then we can shorten the call and we can get right to the pain. So if you can, what I'm saying for you, Ryan, or anyone that's on an offer, immediately I would extract information before, like a real company that really has a good sales process should have a form filled out where they fill out some shit about their problems.
Hmm.
They need to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're hoping and praying that the closer is what? Is like they're skilled enough to like go from like I don't trust you to I trust you. And that's possible, but you can't do that in 30 minutes. It's at
Yeah.
least an hour and it's got to be like more transformational because you're converting their mind from I don't know you, I don't trust you into I trust the hell out of you. That's a
Yeah.
lot of work. This is why I created this pit to peak transformational process because you have to really go through a conversion of mindset, right? Or the marketing has to do the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm with Lane Nestor. They're both setters on our team, and then Veronica, who was just here.
Oh shit. Oh, I didn't know that.
She's
Okay.
our
You guys
chief
all work together.
operations
Okay.
officer, and then
Okay.
Jaime is our
Oh fuck.
is the owner of the company.
So
Yeah, we're
you're
all
all
together.
okay. It's all coming together. So
Yeah,
you
so
guys
I'm the
are
closer. I'm the closer for the team.
you're the closer. Oh
Jaime's
shit.
also closing here and
Okay.
there. So yeah,
Oh no
yeah.
shit.
So
Okay. That's
that's
so
yeah.
cool. I had no idea you're the closer there.
The
All
five
right.
amigos. Yeah.
Now it's all coming together. Good shit.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Awesome. 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 Um, all right. Who's left? We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap this up.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot that was in there, but the source is the biggest one. As far as like the three pain points, just helping them discover that, not just telling them, but just like with the line of questioning and helping them realize like, okay, it's not just the surface, like you mentioned, like where they want to tell me, then there's a secret, then there's a source, and that's when they have that epiphany. And I haven't had that happen too often, so I can see how once you can help discover that source, then they trust you that much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here's the thing, Jeff, and I want to make this really clear with you and anyone else, is that you don't have to discover the source. You can tell them the source. Remember, if you know your avatar and your prospect, which when I work with you or anyone in my program, you will map out all this and write it all out. It's like a fill in the blank because you need to know this for your prospect. It's a fill in the blank, right? You need to know exactly what the source is. Why? Because you don't have a lot of time and it's very likely you need to communicate it to them without them telling you. You might expose it slightly, but communicating them to them and then getting them to agree to it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you know that, you can just inject it into their own mind through inception. Inception, right? Um, just like I told you guys today, the source of the problem, right? It's because I know. I know it. Yeah. Cool. Who else? Everyone else go? Trevin, did you go? Trevin went. Yeah? Okay. Okay. That's all we got today, guys. Tomorrow is going to be the last session. So keep showing up, keep coming. And if anyone has any questions about anything, hit me up. You guys know how to reach me.
Thanks, Patrick.
Okay.
Appreciate
All
you.
right, guys. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.